Oh my gosh, Leo, you won't believe what happened this morning.
Wait, slow down. You sound really excited, or maybe shocked. I can't tell.
That's the point, exactly. I wanted to tell you quickly, but my brain completely stalled for a second.
See, that freezing moment is exactly what we need to talk about today.
Totally. How do you express those really strong feelings, surprise, shock, excitement, when you're speaking English?
And you want it to sound natural, not like a robot reading a textbook.
Right? Because when we are excited, we don't think about perfect grammar, do we?
Never. Spontaneity is key.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo.
Welcome back to the English Blend.
Today, we are diving deep into expressing surprise, shock, or excitement, but we're linking it directly to fluency.
Because being able to react instantly is basically the definition of fluency, you know?
Exactly. So grab your coffee and let's get started.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Imagine you see an old friend unexpectedly at a cafe.
Your immediate reaction is probably, "What are you doing here?" or "No way."
But if you stop to check if you should use the present perfect or the simple past, that friend is already gone.
That is the big problem, right? The struggle between fluency and accuracy.
We hear these words a lot in English learning, so let's define them simply.
Accuracy is about being correct, perfect grammar, perfect vocabulary choices, making zero mistakes.
It's the checklist of rules. Did I conjugate the verb right? Did I use the correct preposition?
It's important, but sometimes it slows you down too much.
And then there's fluency. Fluency is smooth communication. It's about not stopping.
It means getting your message across clearly, even if you make a little mistake here and there.
Communication, not perfection. That's our mantra for today.
If you're communicating, you are fluent. That is the core idea.
Think about expressing shock. If I say, my car broke down on the motorway, I am so surprised.
The grammar is a little off. It should be, "I am so surprised."
But did you understand me?
Absolutely. I understood you were shocked and your car stopped. The message was 100% delivered.
So in that moment, fluency won. My urgency and emotion overshadowed the single grammar error.
That's how native speakers talk too sometimes. We prioritize speed and connection over textbook rules.
We might even miss an S on a third-person verb when we're rushing. It happens.
And if we stop every time to correct ourselves, we lose the flow of the conversation.
Especially when expressing high emotion like genuine excitement.
If you win the lottery, are you going to say, "I have won the lottery," which is an event that occurred in the recent past, impacting my financial future, requiring the present perfect tense?
No, you're gonna scream, I won! Oh my God, I won!
Exactly. That's pure fluency. It's raw communication.
So our advice for expressing surprise or excitement, don't pause to check the conjugation.
Use those simple, instant reaction phrases, even if they feel basic.
Phrases like seriously or get out, meaning stop joking, or wow.
These are chunks of language, ready to go. They require zero grammar thinking.
They're like conversational emergency buttons.
This brings us to the biggest blocker for A2 and B2 level speakers. Why does grammar block fluency?
Because grammar is often taught as a set of rules that must be followed perfectly.
It creates a mindset where mistakes are failures.
And we fear failure, especially in front of other people.
So, when you open your mouth, your brain is doing two things at once. First, the creative task. What do I want to say? What am I feeling?
Second, the editing task. Wait, is this plural? Do I need the? Is this verb reflexive?
That editing task takes up too much processing power, right? It causes the dreaded freeze.
It's like trying to drive a car while simultaneously reading the manual for how the engine works. You're gonna crash.
When you freeze, the moment passes. The surprise isn't surprising anymore.
If you're supposed to react excitedly, but it takes you 10 seconds to construct a perfect sentence, the excitement is gone.
The listener can tell you're focusing on structure, not on the actual feeling. We need to shift the focus from, "Did I say it perfectly?" to, "Did they understand my excitement?"
Let's use a real-world example. Imagine you get a huge promotion at work.
A colleague asks, "How did the meeting go?"
You want to shout, I got the job! I'm the new manager!
A learner focusing on accuracy might worry, should I use I have gotten or I got? Is manager the right professional term?
And they hesitate, maybe saying, the meeting, it was good. I have received a new role. It sounds stiff.
The person focused on fluency just blurts it out, maybe with imperfect phrasing, but with huge energy. I'm in charge now, man. Can you believe it?
That energy communicates more than the perfect tense ever could.
So, how do we break this grammar addiction?
We need to learn how to forgive ourselves for mistakes. First of all, it's not the end of the world if you mess up a preposition.
That's a great phrase right there. It's not the end of the world.
It means your mistake isn't a catastrophe. The world keeps spinning and the conversation continues.
If you mess up, just keep going. Don't backtrack and correct it immediately unless the meaning is totally lost.
Sometimes trying to fix a mistake takes longer than just moving on.
Use that phrase, it's not the end of the world internally when you feel that panic rising.
Now let's share a quick story about why context is more powerful than conjugation.
I love this one. It ties into expressing surprise without using fancy words.
I was traveling in Italy a few years ago, and I had only just started learning Italian, very basic.
So A1 or maybe A2 level, just surviving.
Exactly. I was ordering coffee, a very important task, obviously.
Of course, life depends on it.
I wanted a cafe macchiato. I mixed up the words for milk and sugar. I accidentally told the barista, I want coffee with milk and 5 spoons of milk.
5 spoons of milk. That's very specific.
The barista was completely shocked. His eyes went wide. He said something very fast in Italian.
Pure shock, right?
Yes, but I understood his surprise immediately through his body language, his tone, and his facial expression.
He didn't need to construct a perfectly grammatically complex sentence about the strange request.
He just used an exclamation and maybe a gesture. I realized my error wasn't in the structure of my sentence, but in the vocabulary. And the context of 5 spoons made the mistake obvious and funny.
He communicated his surprise perfectly, and you were able to understand and correct your error.
I laughed, I pointed to the sugar, and I managed to get my point across.
That's our second easeful phrase, get your point across.
It means successfully communicating your idea or message to another person.
Fluency is about successfully getting your point across, regardless of the little linguistic bumps in the road.
My point was, I need sugar, not 5 spoons of milk. I achieved that goal. Mission accomplished.
We often worry so much about the sentence structure that we forget the main goal is simply to transfer information.
And emotion. When expressing shock, the listener needs to feel the weight of your information, not the weight of your grammar textbook.
Use inflection. When you say, "No way!" make sure your voice goes high and loud. That's universal communication.
If you say, no way, flatly and quietly, the person might think you were just politely disagreeing, not surprised.
So practice the sound, the emotion, and the pace just as much as you practice the words.
Let's move on to some really practical steps now. How can learners actually train their brains to prioritize fluency over accuracy when those surprising moments happen?
We have 3 key practical tips that focus on retraining your brain away from immediate self-correction. Tip 1, massive listening and shadowing. This means listening to English constantly, even when you're doing other things. Podcasts, music, YouTube videos like this one.
Your brain starts absorbing the patterns of natural speech, not just individual rules.
And when you listen to native speakers express excitement or surprise, they use very specific chunks of language.
You'll hear things like, "Are you serious right now?" Or, "I literally cannot believe it." Or, "What on earth?"
When you shadow, meaning repeating immediately what you hear, you practice saying those emotional chunks instantly without thinking about the grammar construction.
You are building muscle memory for immediate reaction. It bypasses the conscious grammar check.
You want those reaction phrases to be instant, like pressing the gas pedal in your car.
And you need massive exposure to build that. Listening is the foundation.
Tip 2. Learn and use chunks, not just individual words.
This is a huge one. We mentioned no way earlier. No way is one chunk. It expresses disbelief or surprise. It's stored in your brain as one unit.
You don't store it as no adverb plus way noun.
You store it as the feeling of surprise. When you feel surprised, you grab the no way chunk.
Other chunks for excitement are, I'm over the moon, or I can't wait, or that is wild.
Practice writing out 10 or 15 chunks related to expressing strong emotions, and use them every time you practice speaking.
Use them even when you're talking to yourself in the mirror, which we all do, right?
Absolutely. If you see a weird cat outside, don't say, that cat is very strange. Say, what on earth is that? You want those chunks to be so automated that they just jump out of your mouth when the emotion hits.
Tip 3. The 3-second rule.
This is a mental hack for breaking the grammar freeze.
When someone asks you a question, or when you need to respond to a piece of shocking news, give yourself a maximum of 3 seconds to start speaking.
If you haven't started speaking within those 3 seconds, it means you're stuck in the grammar checking phase. If you hit that wall, and we all hit a wall sometimes, you must force yourself to say something, even if it's simple.
Ah, there's our third useful phrase, hit a wall. When you hit a wall, it means you suddenly stop making progress or you feel completely stuck.
You're studying and suddenly your brain just says, no more. You hit a wall.
You're having a fast conversation and you can't keep up. You hit a wall.
The 3-second rule helps you break through the wall of self-correction.
If you can't formulate a perfect sentence in 3 seconds, just start with an interjection or an immediate reaction chunk.
Instead of waiting for perfection, just say, huh, or wow, that's intense, or let me think about that.
Use a filler phrase to buy yourself one more second, like, well, you know, or, actually.
That small action, forcing a sound out, brings you back into the flow of conversation, maintaining fluency.
Let's circle back to our core concept. Fluency means being understood, not being flawless.
If you are expressing surprise, the most fluent way to do it might involve words like OMG or seriously, which aren't full sentences at all.
And that's fine. That's natural English. We use interjections and exclamations constantly.
Imagine you meet your favorite celebrity at the bus stop.
You could try to say, excuse me, I have been following your career for many years, and I am highly surprised to encounter you in this location.
Or you could just gasp and say, wait, is that you? I love your work.
The second one is clearly more fluent, more expressive of shock, and more likely to get your point across.
It shows genuine emotion. That's what communication is really about.
And if you make a small error in that second sentence, maybe you use loves instead of love, the person probably won't even notice because of the intensity of your voice.
If they do notice, it's not the end of the world. They understood the core message.
Remember, if you are stuck and you hit a wall, take a deep breath and use a chunk. Don't freeze up completely.
Let's review those key phrases one more time.
First, get your point across. Aim for communication over correctness. Did the other person understand the meaning?
Second, it's not the end of the world. Forgive yourself for those little mistakes that slip out when you're speaking fast or feeling emotional.
Third, hit a wall. Recognize when you feel stuck and use your practiced chunks and filler words to push through that momentary blockage.
And remember those tips: massive listening, learning language chunks, and the 3-second rule.
Practice responding to things instantly. Watch a movie, hit pause, and immediately say out loud how you feel about the scene. If a character surprises you, just blurt out your reaction. I didn't see that coming.
That trains your brain for real-life spontaneity. The goal is to make your English reactions as quick and automatic as they are in your first language.
Because surprise and excitement are fast emotions. They demand fast language.
They demand fluency. They demand courage.
Be brave. Don't let the fear of a missing S stop you from sharing genuine shock or excitement.
Communication is always the priority.
That was a fantastic talk, Mia. A lot of great advice for breaking the accuracy barrier.
Yes, and next time we'll be talking about something slightly different but related. How to politely disagree without sounding rude.
Ooh, managing conflict and different opinions. That requires careful fluency too.
It certainly does. So join us next time for more English learning tips.
Thank you so much for blending with us today.
Bye, everyone, and happy practicing.
Yes, see you in the next episode of The English Blend.